Welcome to the Virtual Pilgrim podcast, where every step is a part of the journey. The Virtual Pilgrim podcast captures spontaneous, casual chats with people met along the Camino de Santiago, each sharing their own beliefs, stories, and ideas. What you'll hear reflects the person speaking, not the podcast or our sponsors. It's not about agreeing or disagreeing, it's about listening, connecting, and walking alongside each other, even if just for a moment. So thank you for coming on. With me here, I've got Thomas and Yann.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
And we are, I don't even know where we are right now.
I mean, we are in the middle of the field.
We are the middle of the field.
It seems like it's raining in the background, but actually it was in the morning. But
Yeah, it does. And for some reason, they need to water the plants twice.
I mean, they don't even look that great, the plants, so I don't know why.
Yeah, maybe just give up. No, I'm sure it's delicious, whatever it is. But tell me, boys, why are you on the Camino?
So we're on the Camino for a very simple reason. We are doing a master degree, and we have to hold our master thesis defense on the 29th of August in Porto.
And in Porto, as in Portugal?
Portugal, yeah.
Okay.
And to do so, I mean, we have 1 month of holidays for August. And instead of taking the plane, we decided to go by foot to Santiago and then to go to Porto because it's nearby.
Okay.
That's the main idea.
So you guys are university students and you're on holiday, and your idea of a good life choice for a holiday is to walk across a country in the middle of summer.
Yeah, that was not maybe the best choice, but it was a cheap choice. And like it's very nice because when you walk, you can just empty your mind after like a full year of working. So it's still pretty nice.
But personally, I decided to do that because most of my friends are in their last year of university for master degrees. And they are all working right now, doing internships or master thesis during the summer. And basically, no one is actually on the holidays except Yann. So I had nothing to do anyway. So that was the best choice anyway.
Look, I love it. I had a mate, and I know you guys are physics students.
Yeah,
I have a friend in Australia, and I think he studied science. I'm not exactly what area of science he was studying, but he was also a little bit like an absolute legend, but loved adventure. He hitchhiked all the way back from Sydney, Australia to Perth, which is the other side of Australia. And to explain the distance, that's effectively hitchhiking from New York to Los Angeles. It's huge, and he just lived life. What is it about science that makes scientists live life?
Go on, sir.
That's a hard one, actually. But I think because when you do science, you are forced kind of to always work either in your lab or like on your laptop, etc. And you try to understand the world in a certain way. And so usually the best way to understand the world is just like to walk it, actually, to just go outside. And so it gives kind of a grasp to reality when you come back and just walk there, and you can just be yourself in the world and try to like just enjoy the experience. And I guess that's the part also of like why scientists love to like climb a lot, hike a lot, etc. Just because they want to like feel the world and not just like through equations.
I mean, I know many scientists that doesn't move their butt from the chair, but yeah, I agree with that. The unexpected, I mean, is what makes the little spice in life. You face the unexpected, and then you feel alive, just as you said, with your camera problems.
Yeah. You feel it for sure. Speaking of feeling it, now last year I walked from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port to Finisterre, but I decided on the second day of my Camino to walk from Roncesvalles to Pamplona. And I heard that somebody else tried that this year. It's brutal, isn't it?
I mean, my mind was ready, my muscles were ready, but not my ligament and body apparently.
Yeah.
So I decided to do the step, to skip a step and not to stop after 30 kilometers. It was super hot outside, and I did another like 17 kilometers. I don't remember how much.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my tendon, my quad tendon, was a bit shocked after that, and so I thought it was over because the pain was tremendous. But after 2 days, it seems okay. So I go slowly, but yeah,
good.
that's unexpected. We nearly, because we didn't have anything planned except being in Porto at the 29th. And because we don't have anything planned, we were like, okay, so I can't walk anymore. My knees is actually hurting me a lot. And what do? We go on the beach in Bilbao, and the Camino, she's over. So it was not over after all, but that was what happened. Yeah.
Amazing. Look, man, I was in your position this time last year almost, and I got to Zibiri, and I was like, I'm so good to go, guys. Come on.
Exactly, the beginning.
I got my friends to walk with me, and you get to about 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers outside of Pamplona, and everything hurts. You are the smartest man saying, I will not do this.
And so actually we arrived in Zebrini, so I took the bus directly to Pamplona because he said, I want to walk there. And so while he was suffering and being under the sun, I was really like just chilling, going to a bar, taking a beer, then taking an ice cream, and just sending him a picture of that, being like, oh, you did the wrong choice, man.
But last year you got injured in the same path?
Last year my friend got injured, and then 2 days later I came down with mad knee problems. And I think it was from the double day. Like I'm sure, I'm positive of it.
Yeah.
Because it was disgusting and brutal. And I had the opportunity to do it again this year, to double stage.
Yeah, no. And that's why we arrived here at noon. And I mean, it was not that brutal. I mean, we could have done another step afterwards, but we just stopped for the entire day doing a nap and so on, because we know we can't overdo it. So yeah.
Exactly. And you will find, I don't know how you go, like with your timeline, but you will find that give it another week or so, and then all of a sudden doing 40, 50 kilometers, like your body's used to 30. And so doing 50 is not such a shock, but when it's not used to 20 and then you do 50.
Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah. So how did you guys meet? Did you grow up in school together? Are you from the same region?
So we are both French. I'm from Toulouse, so south of France.
Yeah.
And I'm from like near Le Mans, so like southwest of Paris. And yeah, we met because we started a program, the same master's program.
So we do a master degree that we finished, a 2 years master degree that we finish actually right now. So we do the master thesis defense in end of August again. And so we met at the beginning of this master degree. We represent today, this is a sweatshirt official. It's not on purpose, but this is a sweatshirt of the master degree.
Okay, can I just, what is, I see a cat.
It's a cat.
It's a cat.
It's a Q. So because we are doing a quantum physics degree, so like the Q is for quantum.
I see that.
In quantum physics, there is a kind of story with a cat, the Schrödinger cat, and like it's really like kind of one of the symbol of like quantum physics. So like it's a mix between the Q and this cat.
I've heard of it, but I couldn't tell you what it is. Can you explain?
So the Schrödinger cat is basically in a superposition of being dead and alive. Okay. So this is why you have like a full side on the kite with the cat, which is for the alive part, and the empty side for the dead part.
Okay.
And so this is to represent the phenomena that is in quantum physics, that you can have as long as you don't measure a system. So the cat is in a box, and there is a poison in it, and the poison have 50% chance of spitting out everywhere and killing the cat, or doing nothing. And so you close the box, and after that you don't know, because there's 50% chance, you don't know if the cat is dead or alive. And as long as you don't open the box and check, so you measure and check if the cat is dead or cat is alive, it is both. I mean, the superposition of state, being dead and alive. That's the idea there.
Who comes up with this? Like, what?
Schrödinger.
Did he ever test this theory?
I mean,
No.
this doesn't work with a cat. This works with electrons and small stuff.
Okay.
Quantum physics works at a very small scale, so for atoms, etc. And we don't see it in our usual life. So of course, with a cat, it doesn't work. It's either dead or alive. But with like small particle, it can be both at the same time, and that's one of the specificity of quantum physics, which is fun.
But really not intuitive to understand. I mean, this is and this is hard to explain for us. I'm in Paris right now. Doing my master thesis in Paris. I meet a lot of people, and from my friends that are not in physics and so on. And when you meet somebody new, you explain what you do in life. And explaining quantum physics to non-physicians, I mean, it's a nightmare. I have to get better. I mean, it's also my fault. But it's really hard to explain and to grasp for the other people. Like what it is.
I mean, wasn't it? I could be wrong with the quote here, but didn't Albert Einstein say that you truly understand a topic when you can break it down and explain it to somebody with no understanding of it?
It's Feynman probably, but yeah, that's a famous scientist. That's a famous scientist.
Yeah, probably, but there's a question of time you have to explain it. Because if you have 10 minutes, trust me, you have to be really good.
You have to get used to it. It's a training.
You have to get.
There's such a skill in teaching something. Like it's easy to say, like you only understand it when you can break it down, but some people operate at such a higher level. I had some university lecturers when I was studying, and they knew the content so well, but because they never had to struggle to understand the content like normal people do, they just like breaking it down was really challenging for them.
I mean, I completely agree with the Feynman, if it is Feynman or Einstein, whatever.
Famous scientist.
Yeah.
Because you have to put into context what you do, and if you're able to put it completely into context, like the field you are in, you can explain it really easily with other contexts. And the context abroad it, and I would have agreed. Quantum physics is not something super difficult that is not made to be explained super quickly. I mean, no, it's just that we don't master it enough to explain it properly, I guess.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I'm sure you guys have mastered it. You're about to get your masters in it. So you mentioned on the 29th, was it?
Yeah.
Of August, you've got your master presentation.
Yeah.
Does that mean, okay, if you fail your presentation, does that mean you have failed your masters, or have you got your masters and you're just presenting?
So theoretically, yes, if we fail the presentation, we will fail the master, but we will not fail the presentation. So.
Very confident here.
No, that's the thing with our master degree is that quantum physics, there is a huge engouement.
Yeah, engouement.
People are involved into it. They want to invest money.
There's a lot of investment from the public, from the investment, etc. In quantum physics, like since 2020, and our master degree is new. And basically, all the master degrees in physics, in quantum physics, are new. Basically,
really?
of around 2019, 2020, at least from the one I know. And so basically, we are only 25 in this master degree, so which is not a lot.
Yeah.
And they already planned the graduation ceremony right after the master thesis.
Scott, man. Cheers.
Right after the master thesis defense. So I don't think they plan to refuse anyone, even if it's bad, because we do the defense at like 1 p.m. And at 3 p.m. we are graduated.
Thinking about walking the Camino de Santiago? A great guidebook can make your journey smoother and more enriching. Camino guides offer everything from practical advice to cultural insights, helping you get the most out of your pilgrimage. No matter if you're tackling the Inverno route or even going from Sanabres, Camino guides will surely impress. Check out the links in the description below.
That's exciting though, that you're some of the first ones coming through.
Yeah.
Is that intimidating? Do you feel like you have to leave a mark on the world?
No, the only problem is about administrative stuff, because since that's the first time and it's a program between many universities, and on the papers it said, oh, we agree to do like stuff to simplify stuff, but in reality it doesn't always work like that. So you have to talk to many secretaries, etc., to make the stuff work. And it's harder actually on a administrative point of view than for us in science.
Yeah, for the science part of pressure and so on, we're not the first one to do quantum physics. It's just like the specialized master degrees that are created right now. But I mean, the master degrees in physics exist for long ago and so on. So yeah, no, just administrative problems all the time.
Okay. And Yann, you said that you're off to do your PhD, your doctorate, in
probably in
quantum
Vienna.
physics?
Yeah, in quantum physics, probably in Vienna.
The karma will catch him.
Are you also going to do your doctorate?
Yeah. I have mine.
So I could be sitting here right now with two of the world's smartest pilgrims. It's possible. At least potentially the only two pilgrims who have ever completed a master's in quantum physics. That's possible, surely.
Maybe possible.
As I was saying, it's possible, but since physicists love hiking, it's not impossible that many physicists actually went to the Camino.
Okay.
The Camino.
But yeah. So we do the PhD right after, and we are lucky that in France, in Vienna, is it the same? It lasts 3 years because there's a lot of systems like in America or a lot of different places like the UK, where they last 4 years or maybe more. So this is a nightmare. I wouldn't imagine being myself doing the PhD for longer than 3 years, but yeah, that's the plan for now. Yeah.
Okay. So PhD, you're going Austria, Vienna.
So I'm doing it in Paris.
So is your study in French then or in English?
There is some, because we're in Paris, there is some people that talk French, so I talk French with them, but everyone is international, and the amount of French in my lab is actually quite not a lot.
Okay.
And so you are basically forced, and this is not a problem at all. I'm always happy to talk in English, but you talk in English all the time because you have Spanish people, you have Croatians, you have Italians, a lot of Italians in France, extra. So yeah, you
end up speaking.
It's not because it's in France that you speak always French. Yeah.
Okay.
And all the documents, all the reports you have to do, all the presentations are in English because there's always an international public.
Okay, that makes sense. And so, Yann, you've jumped around from country to country to country for your degree. Yeah. Thomas, have you done the same, or have you?
Yeah,
you have as well?
We did exactly the same.
We followed each other
during the last 2 years.
That's super cool. So you were in Rome together.
Yeah. We met in Rome actually.
You met in Rome.
So because it's the first semester of our degree.
Oh, okay. So where did you go from Rome? Rome to
Paris.
Paris.
And then we, at the beginning of this year, we went to Toronto.
Okay, yeah. Toronto, yeah.
I stayed the whole year, and he stayed 6 months and went back to Paris.
Yeah. Because the master degree that we do is separated in semesters, and so each semester is supposed to be equivalent to a university where you spend 6 months. And so for Toronto it was a bit different, but I chose to do the master thesis, which is a 4th semester, and I decided to leave Toronto for reasons, I guess. But yeah, all of the experiences except Paris, because we were not exactly in Paris. We were at a city called Orsay, which is basically 1 hour 30 away from Paris.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And this is countryside. So the university is amazing there, but this is not the Parisian life that we had. I mean, in my opinion.
I think you're hoping for Center Paris. Like you wake up, you look out, there's the Eiffel Tower.
That's
the Champs-Élysées.
But we still spent a lot of time to Paris because actually, it's a student pool. So all there are a lot of students in that specific place, and so you have the train, which is the RER, so like a metro that is going directly from where we are to Paris, and so
but most of the time it takes 1 hour to go there.
Most of the time we enjoy our life in Paris.
Oh, good. And so, if you're coming through. You're going to be first master's degree in quantum physics. I just want to pause here for a sec. So you're 100% studying quantum physics.
Yeah.
Are you also 100% studying quantum physics?
Yeah.
Are you studying the same branch of physics, or is it slightly different?
We are very close, but not exactly the same.
So quantum physics is actually super broad. There's a lot of branch, as you say. So we are both playing with optics, let's say, optics, photons, and the light, let's say. But yeah, we are not exactly on the same path.
Okay.
I could explain more, but I don't know if it would get too much into detail.
I'm actually going to ask you in just a moment. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you what your theses are on, and just if you want to share, and you can do. If you're like, nah, this is you can read me when I'm published. But what jobs do you get after? So we're going to come back to that question. Yeah. What jobs do you get after finishing your PhD in quantum physics? Like, where do you apply for jobs?
So I think we have two very different ideas of what we're going to do after that. So personally, before the master degree, I did an engineering degree in French engineering degree. That's whatever, and also specialized in aerospace and aeronautics. And I will actually do during my first year of PhD in parallel a master degree 1 year in philosophy also. So I have this whole broad how to say qualities that I want to exploit. So my idea is not to stay in the academia, so the universities, university life, being a professor and so on. And for now, when I finish my PhD, I think about going to industries or going to ESA, the European Space Agency, for example, but also doing being a council, scientific council. Right after the PhD, I don't know if it's possible, whatever, but some stuff like this. So I don't think for now I plan to stay, directly after the PhD in like concrete, real science and writing papers, etc. Personally, I want to take a path more in the industry, and but that's the idea. But so in the general case, you stay in a scientific research. Background, yeah. After that
makes sense. And Yann?
For me, it's more simple. I just want to continue to do research, and so I want to stay in academia, so work for universities, etc. So professors have labs there, and they're just like studying science, non-profit science, and then they just teach, etc. And some of them have a startup, but for me, it's just like discovering more science and maybe teach it at some point.
And building a startup would be an idea for me also. If I can, yeah, of course, but it's in the far future for me.
All right, well, you call me when you're building this startup. I will come with 0 qualifications. Now, when you're working for the university, is there a specific university that you're like, I want to work there?
Not exactly, but because the reason I think about like quantum physics is that it's done everywhere. Each country has great universities, and so you just have to like you find your groups and you communicate with other scientists and you build like friendship with other scientists, and so you may just want to like go to a university where your friends is, but the important is that they respect and value your work, and after that there is no problem, you can go wherever you want. And
I personally think, especially when you are young and on a bachelor degree and so on, or maybe in high school, you want to go to the big university, big names, like especially the American ones. They are really fancy. But when you go, so as we did in several places, so La Sapienza di Roma, Paris-Saclay, the University Paris-Saclay, University of Toronto. So they are amazing universities, all of them. But you don't really feel the need to actually be in the top, in a high Ivy. How do you say Ivy League? Ivy League university or something like this. Just being a university where the environment is actually sustainable. All the people are really cool, really nice, and you enjoy working with them is really the best thing that could possibly be. So there's not. For me also for the PhD, because you select a PhD that is related to the university, because the university gives the degree. You don't really seek the best university ever. Like I'm going to do it at Harvard. No, Harvard maybe the environment can be great. I don't know Harvard, but it can also be really stressful and etc. So which is not the best thing ever. So you don't really think about it.
Definitely. Now, is there a scientist who is present day and still alive that one day you hope to meet or communicate with?
I already did.
Oh, really? Tell me, please.
2 years ago, a French physicist won a Nobel Prize. It's Alain Aspect. And I was kind of a big fan of Alain Aspect because he made me want to start physics. I was watching videos of him, etc. And so this year he went to Canada and visited our labs. And so we met and we spoke, and I was just the happiest person in the world. So now I'm fulfilled. I don't need anything more.
For me, if there is a physicist, maybe Etienne Klein is a French physicist, but because he also does, I mean, I don't know if I don't think he still does physics, not sure, but he does a lot of philosophy in physics or in science, and he speaks a lot about it on the radio, French radio, or other medium of communication. And I think I have a lot of respect for this guy, for this person, because I mean, I always love this part of philosophy. In physics, there's a lot of philosophy to be made, and so on. So yeah, if I have to meet someone, it would be Etienne Klein.
Etienne Klein,
yeah.
Etienne Klein, if you are watching this, please reach out. Thomas is keen to have a conversation. But yeah, no, okay, that's fair. So they're your two ones you'd like to meet. You've already met him.
And I also already met Etienne Klein, but
no, that's just mean, man. Just once again,
you met.
Yeah.
Okay.
Magister.
Yeah.
You're taking a photo of that ice cream when he's walking to Pamplona, and you're sending it to him all over again. Rough. Is there a scientist from the past who, like, I only know the big name ones because it's not my realm. Is there a scientist from the past you're like, if I could meet that one scientist, that's who it would be?
All of them. Like, no, I think it's too hard because like everyone puts so much into our field. Like each physicist add really something important into our field. So like, I mean,
if I can choose any scientist from the past, I choose Plato. Because he's one of the best genius we ever had in humanity.
Yeah.
So being able to come out with, I mean, all he did at his time. I mean, Plato, for me, having a conversation with him, why not? Yeah.
Why not? I like that. Heck yeah. Very cool. All right, boys, it's time. What are these theses on?
Go on
okay.
first.
So no, I can explain it quite simply because like currently our mean of communication are like for example optical fibers, you know, and so in optical fibers sometimes you can have a bit of noise or like stuff like that. You lose a bit the signal inside the optical fibers, and my thesis shows that if you use like quantum properties of light, you can actually reduce this noise and improve the communication between the two people communicating.
Okay.
And so that was just the point mainly. It was just enhanced communication between people.
And I mean, I'm not exactly sure what your thesis looks like, but were you able to prove that that's accessible?
Yeah.
And
so the thing is that I was in a quantum foundation labs, so it has no purpose to be like industrial. So we just do it at scales that are not interesting for the broad public. We just do it with like 1 photons, we send it and we try to verify if it works. And we do it and it works. But the thing is like it's kind of useless on the like more general purpose for now because we can't use quantum physics that well in our world for now. But yeah, my lab is mostly about proof of principle that physics works and it does. And it does. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Do you think that in the next 5-10 years you'll see that come into play, or do you think it might take a bit longer?
So I think it's quantum physics exists since the beginning of the last century, and like it's very useful actually. Like there are many stuff that now works with quantum physics, but the thing is that it's so hard to make it work really well at an industrial scale. We can always play with small scales, small examples, etc., but it's really hard to make big stuff with that. And so I probably wait a bit more, but at some point it will come out, yeah.
That's super cool. Well, I wish you all the best with your waiting. And I look forward to, hopefully in my lifetime, I'm a little older than you boys or you lads, but hopefully in my lifetime I'll be able to see that come through and be a winner. And I'll be like, I know the guy.
Getting ready for your Camino adventure? Camino Guides is your perfect companion. Packed with detailed maps, essential tips, and rich historical insights, these guides will help you every step of the way. Whether you're walking from Sarria, Finisterre, or even the English route, with Camino Guides, you will never pout. Find all the links to the books from Camino Guides in the description below.
So my thesis is also on communication. So I'm doing basically quantum communication, which is also quantum cryptography.
Quantum what, sorry?
Cryptography.
Okay.
But so this can be done in fibers, as Yann explained. Most of things are done in fibers nowadays. But the goal would be to do it with satellites and geo satellites. So satellites that orbit around with geostationary orbits. Thank you. And
just for those who don't know,
so sorry,
geostation...
So geostationary orbit is the orbit at which altitude the satellite moves exactly at the same speed on rotation as Earth. So, for example, a satellite will be always above my head. So this is not exactly true because we are not in the equator, but whatever.
Yeah.
But so this moves. So the period of orbit is the same as the period of rotation of the Earth. So this does. So satellites, for example, that are called LEO, low Earth orbit, they move around.
Yeah. But they're moving faster than the speed in which the Earth would be rotating?
Yeah, exactly, because they are at a smaller altitude. So whatever. We want to communicate we want to do quantum communication with satellites. And this is a real challenge because to do so, we have to send photons, so light, which is photons. And we have to keep the information we put into light. Let's say we can. And because of quantum properties. And we want to have communication rates, so being able to communicate as we have on internet. We want, for example, to have a quantum internet. So we want to reach rates at which we can actually perform telecommunications that are on the same scale as today with classical communications, but with quantum. And why? Because this is a cryptographic part. Because quantum is purely safe with some protocols, and the classical telecommunication as we have today is, can be intercepted, can be disrupted, and so on. So, but the quantum part is deemed safe. Yeah.
So is that the idea of, like, if we go to war with somebody, you can communicate and they can't intercept?
Yeah, that's the idea. That's one of the idea. So, for example, this is really interesting for the defense and the army. And this is, I think, part of my PhD is actually funded by the army, French army.
Oh wow!
So so this is a part of the thing. Or there is also quantum. There's the thing which is quantum computers, that are computers basically that could run algorithm faster. Let's say more efficiently. Let's say. And so the quantum computers can break down. I repeat, if you pay with your credit card, the data is encrypted.
Yeah.
And it is encrypted with a certain protocol, which is RSA, whatever. And the protocol has a complexity to be decrypted. So this is really hard to decrypt.
Yeah.
And but this decryption can be done with quantum computers.
Yes.
Really easily, let's say, if they exist. I mean, they exist, but not as we like them to be. Okay. Whatever. And but in the near future, like 5-10 years, I don't know, we expect quantum computers to be efficient enough to be able to decrypt the informations with, encrypted by the protocol RSA.
Okay, wow.
So this means that if someone has a quantum computer that is like this, he can decrypt any
Everything.
in everything, every information, back information, so on. So this is not good at all.
That's pretty terrifying because
That would be terrifying.
yeah.
So what we do, of course, because we want to avoid that, we create new protocol systems to encrypt data. So the old RSA protocol that we used before, maybe we put it aside, maybe we improve it. I don't know. So we have two ways of doing it. Either we increase the complexity of the decrypting. So okay, all right, but it's called post-quantum cryptography. And this has limitations. This is really nice on the one hand, but then on the other hand, if the technology is actually increasing in 20 years, we will have to invent even more better cryptographic method protocols. So this has limitations. Or we have quantum cryptography, which is what I do, is that you use the quantum properties to encrypt the data itself. And so because of quantum properties, you cannot actually decrypt anything without destroying the information.
Oh, okay.
So basically, this is not possible. It is proven to not be possible.
I'm gonna try and break this down really simply and
yeah,
tell me if
sorry.
No. Just tell me if I've got the gist. So effectively, it's like when you get someone's iPhone, right, and it's got the passcode, and then if you've got a quantum computer, it can hack into the iPhone through the passcode. Like it could potentially break through that.
The idea is, yeah, the idea works, but the thing is that even with a normal computer, the passcode is not strong enough to be. I mean, it can be hacked with a normal computer.
Yes,
but the idea, yeah, the idea is.
But then with quantum, you're now coming up with defense systems which say that if somebody breaks into the iPhone, it'll effectively delete the data on the iPhone so that they can't get access to it.
Yeah. Let's say that.
Okay, Sam.
Let's say that the password is different as at each tries, at each tries, and if the iPhone detects that you are not meant to decode the password, it removes the password.
Okay.
And that would be maybe more. Have more parallel with what explained.
Yeah.
But it's not right. There is some limitation to this analogy.
Analogy. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
No, thank you. It's very complicated. I understand.
He's more complicated from what I do, but he explained it in better terms, I guess.
You did explain it very well, Yann. You did it. So yeah, thank you very much, lads. I'll stop with the explanations there because I'm not gonna lie, I was reaching my limit of like understanding. I was trying to keep up, and I was like, how do I put that into like something that is, I'm gonna use the term relevant to me, like something that I can
of course
grasp.
I can bet that it's hard to use on the camera after that.
No, it doesn't matter about the camera. They'll be just for me.
Yeah, just for you.
But okay, I do have more questions. And I'm going to move away from the physics area now because I don't want to sound less intelligent than I am. And I was talking to Yann earlier about this. You guys study quantum physics. You're about to do your doctorates in quantum physics. Okay, this is very impressive. I don't know anybody who's done their doctorate in quantum physics. In fact, outside of my university training, I probably only know a handful of people who have their doctorates. So to be sitting in a random group somewhere randomly in Spain on the Camino with two people who in 3-ish years you'll have your doctorates is pretty cool. But my question is, and Yann, you did a great job of explaining it earlier, so I'm going to start with you. What do you actually do for fun when you're not sitting there studying quantum physics? How do you spend your time?
So yeah, I was saying that first in our masters we had the chance to travel a lot. So of course we just do tourism. We just explore cities. We explored Rome, which is an amazing city, beautiful history, of course. We met people. We discussed a lot because our field forced us to discuss a lot with other people. And yes, we did it with Canada, etc. And except from that, like we are just like doing sports, reading books. I love like watching movies. For example, I go to the cinema twice a week, but like it's really like basic stuff, really like.
Okay, so you've mentioned you like watching movies and reading books. Okay, Do you read and watch the same movies and books as the normal, I'm going to say the majority of the population, or are you like are you what? What's your last 3 movies you've watched?
Oh, then that's complicated.
Mad Max.
Yes, I watch Mad Max, so
Okay.
like normal movie. I watch weird French movies from the 60s,
Okay. Not where I saw this going.
and it's complicated because since I haven't been to the cinema for like 3 weeks now, I just forgot what I watched.
But especially the books he reads. are
So
not,
no, I like more artsy movie like from the French cinema, etc. But I also like when there is like a big blockbuster, I also go to watch a big blockbuster. I just enjoy being in the cinema with people. So like whatever the movie is, I will enjoy it, especially because I'm sitting around with people. I don't really like to watch movies like on my laptop or on the TV. I just like to be in the room with the people. And books depends, but like no, actually it's not that weird. But like just like either classical literature or like sci-fi.
Okay.
A lot of sci-fi because we are scientists, but yeah.
Okay, I do have to ask a quick question. The books he reads, are they weird?
I think they're weird. I mean, he reads a ton of books, so I mean, I can guess you have a Gaussian of weirdness,
Yeah.
it goes really extreme on a certain time.
Yeah, because there is one thing that I read that no one else read is that physics books. Like you read, like physicists read physics books sometimes for fun, and so like I do that also.
That's fair. And speaking of movies, did you see Oppenheimer?
Of course, we saw it.
Oh, did you enjoy it?
Of course, we enjoy it. I mean, I don't know you, but I enjoy it.
I love the way he flirts with quantum physics when he touches the hand of the woman and says, "I don't know what I don't remember, but it was really." It was really nice. Doesn't make any sense to me, but it was really nice.
So whoever wrote that line clearly does not understand quantum physics.
I actually don't remember it.
It was a great movie. I think it did quite a great job on the science part. Actually,
Yeah.
They explained it very well. And for me, it was even more enjoyable because like I read a lot about like history of science, and so each time they are dropping a name, in the movie, like this guy, and I'm just like, yeah, I know this guy. He did that actually, and that's kind of amazing. And like,
and actually,
they did a great.
There's a lot of talking in Oppenheimer. At the beginning, there's not, from what I remember, there's not much happening, but a lot of talking, a lot of scenes, etc. But so I know personally, my father hated it because he couldn't follow. It was too messy for him.
Yeah.
But I personally enjoyed it because it was relevant to me. I knew the physicians they were talking about, etc. As Yann said.
Yeah.
And so I think it added something more.
Yeah. I think for me, it may have been one of the best movies that I've ever seen. I watched it and I was just like 100% focused. I was like, damn, this is great. Alrighty. Books, movies, bestie, what do you do for fun?
So I basically, if you take a week in my life, spend most of my free time doing sports. But like it's maybe too much sometimes. So I do sports. When I don't do sports, I hang out with my friends and party.
Okay, yeah.
And other than this, I cook.
Okay.
I cook, yeah. And that's basically what I do.
Do you get ridiculously fancy with your cooking? Like, is it like broken down into like a scientific method, or are you just like tomato, pasta?
No, I do it with a feeling. I don't follow a recipe. I mean, I know the recipe in my head, but I always basically cook the same thing all the time. Like all the time.
Okay, what is the thing you cook?
So I do a lot of gym. So of course I cook so a lot of vegetables. So these are the thing in my diet that is changing. But other than this, I cook rice, a lot of rice, and tuna or chicken, and yeah, I changes. I make variations. Basically, this is the 3 parts of my meals, and I make variations with the vegetables I cook because I cook actually huge portions. Portions of vegetables, and sometimes it's eggplants, sometimes it's zucchini, sometimes it's and I cook them very well because it's been 6 years that I do it all day, every day.
So, from my point of view, I spent 1.5 years with him, like just watching him every day eat exactly the same lunch, the same meal at lunch and dinner, always exactly in the same box.
But can you imagine how good it is? if I can eat this like every day for 5 years, I don't know, I don't remember. Always the same meal. I improve a lot on this exact meal, and it gets extraordinary in my mouth.
Okay, I think
I had a session in Rome because I was in Italy. Instead of the rice, I put pasta.
you need to
Yeah,
calm
that was
down.
the biggest change.
You need to calm down,
And
all
we
right?
heard about this change for like 2 weeks. He was like, "Oh, I changed rice for pasta. Now what will I do?"
Oh, okay. So I do need to just like pretty much invite myself to the dinner table at some point. If you've been cooking the same meal for 6 years, you better have refined it to beautiful. I used to live with some lads, and they were a bit. Do you have the term gym bro?
Oh yes.
Yeah, they were a gym bro, and I feel like you might be a gym bro. He's a gym bro.
No,
Yeah.
but the thing which is hard is that when you meet a girl and you cook for her, it works one time, twice, and then she discovers that you cook always the same thing.
Yeah.
So, and the cooking part is not fancy anymore. It's just, I mean, you can't impress her anymore with the same cooking. That's the bad part of it.
That's fair. That's fair. And I guess as a uni student, you don't probably have enough. I don't know how good these grants are, but you don't have enough money to be like, all right, we're going to eat at the. I made you tuna and rice and vegetables last night. Tonight we're going to go eat at the top of the Eiffel Tower. You know, and you can't bounce from restaurant to restaurant
we
to
are
restaurant.
lucky with grants and money. Yes, we are lucky with that. We have scholarships that are covered.
Hey, how do you get grants? Like, what's that process look like?
I mean, for our program, it was just you enter the program, and like if they had a certain number of scholarships to give, and so they give it to like 20 people, and so we just have it. It was just like if we managed to enter the program, so we had to like create we were a candidate, and they selected us, and after the selection, they just said, okay, now have the money.
It's the program is from Europe, and this is European Commission, or I don't know how it's called, that grants scholarships. So they have a lot. So not everyone in the program. We are only 25 first per year, and not everyone has it, but a huge proportion of them. So yeah, I mean, it was okay for us. Not a big deal.
You heard about Erasmus?
About what, sorry?
Erasmus. So, so that's the European program that sponsorizes every traveling students.
Yeah.
So like,
if you met any internationals from Europe during your studies, they were probably from Erasmus, sponsored by Erasmus.
They just give us money to travel and study abroad.
That
sounds amazing.
That is very nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to chat with my government about this and be like, guys, what's going on? I did not get this option. Although when I used to study, so we got a wage to study, which was livable, you know. Oh yeah, man, of course. No, please. I was also gonna go for a handshake, so here you go, man.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks. Yeah, so ultimately, they paid me to study, but then I used to date a Swiss girl for 5 years. So for 3 months of the year, they'd pay me to come over and live in Switzerland, and it was wonderful.
Of course.
I mean, it's not quite Erasmus. What was the term?
Erasmus.
Yeah, whatever that is. However you pronounce that. Yeah,
Erasmus.
Erasmus. But it was pretty good, and I remember thinking, life doesn't get much better than this. Paid to travel. So thank you, Australian government. They've since changed it so you can't do that. But
so go to Europe.
So move to Europe. Yeah, that's sweet. Now you've joined the pilgrimage. You've had a great time so far. You're. I'm going to use the term. I don't think there is a normal pilgrim, but if there aren't normal or irregular pilgrims, you guys are certainly it in the way in which you walk it. You were saying you'll walk a stage, but then if the next stage doesn't look great, we're coming up to one with a lot of downhill. Yeah. You're just like, I'll just skip that.
Yeah, because like the goal is to arrive in in Porto for our master defense. So like if there is like, for example, soon there will be like a step which is with very steep slopes and like going down slopes. and these like are very bad for the knees, and he's already a bit injured, and like I'm also like
Yeah.
a bit like injured in the
Personally, I planned to do it the hardcore way, so to do it anyways, downhill step. But since my tendon is in a bad shape, yeah, I gave up.
Look,
I gave up on the hard part.
I did it last year, and it was the most horrendous time. I remember, like, because I had bad knees that came in at the Stella, like my knees were just like proper shot. And I remember going down, and it's just, it was miserable. I don't wish it on anyone, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, we just try to like avoid being like injured, and we are here also to enjoy also just the Camino. So like
Yeah.
if there is a part that we know we will not really enjoy it, we just keep it to like go to the next
To
one.
enjoy,
We enjoy
to be able to
Exactly.
fully enjoy it.
For example, before Leon, from Popelin to Leon, there's basically desert. I don't know if I pronounce it right, not the meal, but but yeah, it's like no shade everywhere and so on. And we knew that it was not the best part to do, so we were like, okay, we are not gonna enjoy it with 40 degrees outside. We skip it.
And look, honestly, wise choice, because I did it last year at about 28 degrees. And as an Australian, I walked it, and I'd come from hiking in Texas, and I was fine. Like, I was loving it.
Yeah.
But the majority of Europeans at that time, it'd get to like 2 p.m. and everybody was like, how are you still walking? Because it was like, if you're not used to that kind of
Yeah,
heat,
you have to be used.
you're not prepared for it. Your body's not prepared, and it's rough. And to do that in 40 degrees, or the 38 and 40 that we've been having, that could be a death sentence for some.
That kind of the nice part, which is that the steps are not too far from each other, which is that if you leave early, and everyone leaves early,
Yeah.
like your albergue at like 6, you arrive around like 1, approximately 1, 2. So you avoid the hard part of the afternoon. You're just like chilling inside, doing a nap while it's 40 degrees outside, so it's still very comfortable.
I like that. I like that. Now, as you head towards Santiago, are you going to go Santiago and then straight to Porto? Are you guys going to try and head to Finisterre and Muxia? What's this going to look like for you?
So that's what we explained in the beginning, that we love the unexpected, and we didn't plan anything except being Porto.
Okay.
Because we don't have the choice. So it only depends if we arrive in Santiago at the 26th or the 28th. So if we have time, basically. And if we have time, yeah, we go to the sea, or we start to walk towards Porto, or we go to Porto and we visit around. I mean, just
The
what we want to
unexpected.
do, yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Can I recommend, if you do get the time, I think Muxia is worth visiting. Muxia, M-U-X-I-A.
Okay.
So Finisterre or Fisterra is here. Muxia is just up here.
Okay.
And it's,
Amazing.
I think it was very beautiful. I grew up on the coast. I live 30 minutes from the beach now, and I think Muxia is very beautiful.
All right. All right.
So,
We'll
yeah.
check it out.
Okay, I've got one more question for you both. What is some advice you would give a pilgrim who has never walked the Camino before? What advice would you give them? Whoever speaks first gets the easiest advice.
Yeah, I will go first because like, it's easier. Like really, like there is a question of listening to your body, which I think like everyone say that, but it's very true. Like if you try to do like, even like if you say like, oh yeah, today I'm in a great shape, I can do more. Just think like maybe tomorrow you will be not in that such a great shape. And
Personally, I listened to my body. I felt super good.
So listen to
And
your body.
all of a sudden, my tendon said no. But I listened to my body.
Listen to your body and your friends who say,
And your friends.
you shouldn't do it.
What can I say? Don't bring heavy luggages. I mean, just bring 2 pairs of each things, like socks, underwear, and so on, and nothing more. It's useless.
Because you guys have a fair bit of luggage, am I right?
Okay,
It's okay. I mean, I think my bag is heavy. The bag itself.
yeah, but
But-
I'm carrying your water, so
You're carrying his water.
I'm carrying his food. It's okay. I'm carrying the food. He carries the water.
But is his food rice, chicken, tuna, and vegetables?
Unfortunately, I can't cook like this right now. This is really a pain for
I
me.
mean, it looks a lot like it actually. It's like tuna and like
Yeah, that's-
but yeah, no, we tried just like our luggage because actually we took 4 pairs of 4 stuff of each, 4 t-shirts, 4 like but we realized that it's maybe
Always
too
too
much. Like you could do less. You could do less.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I think the advices I could give for now are not relevant at all. It's too soon for us.
That's fair. That's fair. Or maybe I'll hit you up in 3 to 6 months, and who knows? But lads, thank you so much for jumping on. It's been honestly, I could keep this conversation going forever, but I'm sure you want to go relax and enjoy your Camino. So
It was super great. Super great.
Thank you
talking
very
to
much.
it has been awesome. Buen Camino. Buen Camino. Thomas, Yann, good luck with it all.
Yeah.
And I look forward to hearing your names pop up with Nobel Prizes.
I hope so. I hope so.
I hope
Thomas.
so too.
Only Thomas.
Only Thomas.
Only Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alrighty, thanks, boys.
Have you ever dreamed of walking the world's most iconic trails? With Virtual Pilgrim, you can embark on a breathtaking journey without ever leaving your home. Experience stunning 4K footage of legendary routes, starting with the Camino de Santiago. Search for Virtual Pilgrim on YouTube and begin your adventure today.